To get started, you must first remove the sticker from the side of the uglEbook. You can do this by using your fingernail or the flathead screwdriver under a corner and pry it off. Now you'll need to remove the 8 screws from the back of the uglEbook casing. Be careful when separating the cases, as there's a wire connecting the 2 pieces together. Now you'll need to disconnect the wire from the battery to the motherboard. To do this, you can use the flathead screwdriver to pry apart the connection. Now you'll want to remove the tape that holds down the ribbon cables. You'll want to stick the tape to the side as you're going to reuse it later. To remove the ribbon cables, you're going to want to use the flathead screwdriver to pry back the black plastic piece that's holding it down. You'll want to make sure that you don't completely remove the black plastic piece, but just enough to pull out the ribbon cable. Now you'll do the same with the other ribbon cable. Now you're going to want to remove the red and black cable connecting to the motherboard. To do this, you can use the flathead screwdriver again to pry apart the connections. Now you'll want to remove the 5 screws that hold the motherboard to the casing. Now you can lift off the motherboard from the casing. There are 5 screws that now need to be removed to remove the screen. Remove the screws and the washers and set to the side. Now you can gently pry the screen up from the casing. There's going to be a black seal that goes around the screen. You're going to want to set this to the side to use when installing the new screen. Before you install the new screen, you're going to want to put the black seal back onto the casing. And now you're ready to install the new screen. To make sure that you have the screen in the correct direction, the thick ribbon cable is going to face the same side of the casing as the buttons do. Set the screen back down into the casing into place, and now we're going to reinstall the 5 screws and washers that hold down the screen. Now we're going to reinstall the motherboard. To make sure you have the motherboard in the correct direction, on the side of the casing there's cutouts for the connections on the motherboard. To install the new motherboard, you're going to want to put the ribbon through the slot in the motherboard and slide it through. Make sure all that your wires are free from underneath the motherboard and out of the way. Now you're going to replace the 5 screws that hold down the motherboard. Make sure everything's lined back up correctly and in place. Now we're going to reattach the cables. To reattach the red and black cable, you're just going to reconnect it. You can use the screwdriver to pop it back into place. The ribbon cables are going to go into the slot underneath the black plastic piece that we had popped out earlier. After firmly putting them back into the slot, you're going to use your flathead screwdriver to push back in the black plastic piece. On the smaller ribbon cable, there's a white side and a copper side. The white side is going to face up while the copper side goes down. Again, you're just going to stick it into the slot on the black plastic and press it in as firmly as you can, and then use your screwdriver to close the black plastic piece again. Now you're going to want to replace the piece of tape that was holding down the ribbon cable. This keeps it out of the way and interferes from it getting closed up inside the book. Now double check everything is connected well, your screws are all there, and now you can connect the battery back to the motherboard. Now you're going to flip the casings back together. You're going to want to make sure that the cases are firmly together and there's no gaps. Now you're going to replace the 8 screws that hold the casings together. Double check again that everything's together good, and if it is, now you can reinstall the sticker by applying firm pressure.